Gosh, so you're going into tomorrow in a really high place so far. How do you feel about semifinals?
I always feel more nervous for qualifiers than semis, I think.
Really?
Because you don't know where you stack going into qualies, and then you can kind of like gauge from there going into semis and finals, like where you land and if you could have improved or if you had a bad day. You know, it just makes me more comfortable with the field and the setting.
And you haven't done a lot of bouldering comps leading up to this, right?
No,
I know I saw you rope climbing last weekend.
Yeah, so I pretty much have been in rope mode since the beginning of the fall season because I mean, it's no secret, I'm a sport climber and I love the red. I did the Prolo here in Salt Lake in November, and that's the last time I did a bouldering comp.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think a lot of people have seen that great video of you doing
Golden Ticket?
Golden Ticket. I can't believe I almost forgot that at Red River Gorge. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. It's a great video.
Yeah.
Really awesome ascent.
Yeah, those guys, Just Go Climb and Andy Wickstrom did an awesome job editing it, and it really came together.
Super good video. Yeah, I've watched it a couple times. Yeah, so we're more familiar seeing you winning Seco Block last year, third place in Sport Nationals, and here you are doing super well in qualifiers for Bouldering Nationals. How do the different genres of competition feel to you?
I think I'm always more comfortable going into endurance-based competitions like Seco Block and SCS just because I know that's my strong suit. And I've never considered myself a boulderer per se, just because it's all my weaknesses in one type of event. So it feels good. It feels good to have done so well in qualies, and it makes me more confident going into tomorrow. I was a nervous wreck this morning and last night.
What does Michaela Kirsch as a nervous wreck look like?
I talk a lot, more than normal, if you can imagine, when I'm nervous. And I just talk about like nothing. I just go on these long rambles, and I get kind of shaky because of the adrenaline, for sure.
Well, maybe we'll get you mic'd up for semis tomorrow.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll just go on and on for you guys. Just fill the time. We still have so long to get through all these men.
Yeah, I would not hang out if I were you. I would go home and do something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna
go rest.
Eat.
But I appreciate you letting me drag you out of the crowd.
Yeah.
Join us in the booth here.
Yeah,
always a pleasure to speak with you, Michaela. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks to Michaela Kirsch for stopping by the booth. Saw Josh Levin there making the slam dunk on men's problem number 3 just a few moments ago. I see Josh Levin back here at Nationals. He's been dealing with some injuries in recent years. And the whole adulting thing really puts a cramp in a lot of people's climbing. See Lisa Chulich getting high in women's number 5. Oh, not able to snag that crimp. Is Lisa Chulich. She'll have plenty of time to try again, though. Chris, it's been an exciting round so far for the women. It's almost over, which is kind of hard to believe.
Yeah, I know.
It's been 4.5 hours since it started, actually, for the women. Which
wow, that's gone fast. I'm staring at this list of men left to go, though, and we still have quite a bit. We're looking at probably another close to 3 hours more of men competing. But yeah, the women are on their way.
Reminder that you can go to usaclimbing.org for all the results from qualifiers as soon as they are available. They've got some unofficial results being posted as we go through the rounds this afternoon. But as Michaela mentioned, there will be some appeals, and there's an appeals period after the results get posted, so things are a little bit fluid as far as the results go. We'll be back here for semifinals tomorrow morning with our top 20 men and top 20 women. Be kicking off our live coverage for that starting at 9:45 a.m. Mountain Time, and then back for finals at 7:30 p.m. Top 6 men, top 6 women, crowning a national champion. Speaking of wearing the crown, Megan Martin joining us in the booth. Megan, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Starting to get to the weird part of the day where we get a little bit loopy and
do you need coffee?
Start to get a little dizzy.
Yeah, I could use some coffee.
Well, at least you're sitting down, so nobody has to catch you.
It's true. We're in a safe spot here.
Yeah.
In the Salt Palace.
As always, a pleasure to watch you climb.
Oh, thank
Really
you.
strong. You did excellent. You finishing problem 5, which gave a lot of still giving a lot of people problems. What was your mindset during this qualifying round?
So little known fact, qualifiers is my least favorite round. I have a hard time. There's not a big crowd, I really love the crowd, obviously. It's, the thing to get to the next, part of the competition, right? You have to get to semis and then finals, and, semis is more of a show, so at least when you're there, you feel like, things are happening. So qualifiers is always a little hard for me. I felt strong. I felt a little stupid, maybe. I felt like my body was working, but my brain was not functioning, little slips here and there, reading things wrong, making things harder, typical.
You're not the only person that had this problem.
Yeah. It's a typical qualifier round for me, so as long as I can make it to the next round, it's whatever, but I'm how there's a second half player or a second half team, I'm a second half climber. So it's never a good round for qualifiers for me. As long as I make it through, I'm happy.
So tomorrow in semis, tomorrow morning, we can expect to see perhaps both body and brain turned on from Megan Martin.
Lord willing, yes.
Yes.
It's always the hope.
Yeah, right? I'm trying to get a good night's sleep and wake myself up or something. I don't know. But boulders were fun, though. I had a good time. It's always frustrating when you don't flash number 1,
Yeah.
And when you just messed up, you're like, oh my goodness, of course, But whatever, you try and let it go and get through the rest of the round.
Is there anything in particular you're going to do tonight or tomorrow before semifinals to kind of mentally prepare you to compete?
Definitely try to go to sleep at a decent hour, get a good meal, really focus in ISO probably on being efficient as possible, because that's really what it comes down to in these kind of competitions. And, just positive attitude, try to have fun. I think I always do better if I have fun, not worry so much, so we shall see.
Nice.
All right, well, Megan, best of luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Looking forward to watching you in semis.
Awesome. Looking forward to climbing.
Yeah. I really appreciate your time here, Megan. It's great to talk with you.
Not a problem. It was super fun.
As always.
See y'all later.
All right. Take care.
Big thanks to Megan Martin for stopping by the booth. And Chris, one thing that was going on there during some of those interviews, Sean McCall not climbing up to his usual standard, I would say.
Yeah. I did not even get to catch how he did on number 5, but
I saw him struggling quite a bit. I don't know if he actually finished it.
Yeah, that would be good to know, because I know he did top 1, 2, and 3, and not 4. So
if I see the unofficial rankings here, they've got him with 3 tops.
Yeah. So wow.
So,
that's going to put him in.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he made it very far in the 5th problem. So
It'll at least put him in question. Or right now, are we still saying that unofficially?
Yeah, I mean these
3 tops may.
We can't really overemphasize that these are unofficial, just because of the way the rank scoring system works, that everybody's results factor into the scores, so how the last person does will actually trickle through the results that happened before it. So remember, the most important thing is the number of tops that the climbers achieve, but after that, it's the combined rank scoring system that evaluates how the climbers did against their peers on each individual boulder and ranks them according to that. We do have unofficially Daniel Woods on the bubble right now, unofficially in 21st place, with some foreign nationals in front of him though, so he would be in at the moment, but we still have a lot of guys still to come, so
yeah,
it's not looking hopeful for Daniel Woods. That would be a pretty shocking development, but that's how it goes here at nationals. And we saw it in the moment when he was on men's number 4. He was so close to finishing the boulder. He had his hand just about on the finish hold and couldn't reel it in. And we knew that at the time that was going to be key. And it looks like that may have been the case. Just 20 seconds left in this round. We got Brian Reynolds, Chris Widener, Neely Quinn, all back with you in the booth here at the Salt Palace here in Salt Lake City. Whittling down this field from 124 men and 60 women to 40 competitors for semifinals tomorrow.
Men's number 1 there is Ben Tresco, one of the 2 strong Bens. Ben Hanna, Ben Tresco. He is always a fun one to watch, a lot of spirit. Usually does really well.
Yeah, Ben's done really well at the Seco comp the last couple years, as well as Rope Nationals. Not the start that you want after being an ISO for 8 hours.
He's 19 from Utah.
We're starting to get a pretty good sense who is going to be through for the women, and not a ton of surprises so far as people that you would have expected to make finals.
Maybe Maya Madere. I mean,
the bubble. Yeah, Maya being up there in second place.
Way up there, yeah.
That's a great point, Chris. And not surprising that she climbed well, but just how well she climbed.
Exactly.
Being one of the only women to finish problem number 4, and only the second woman, or the first woman to finish all 5 in this round, but only other one besides Ashima Shireishi to finish all 5 boulder problems. So incredible round for her.
Yeah, I'd say Maya performed very, very well.
Alex Puccio in 3rd, going into semis. Kyra Condi, no surprise. And Michaela Kirsch.
And these results will be what we use to determine the running order for tomorrow. So we'll go in reverse order. 20th place qualifier goes first, all the way to first place. The scores reset, so the actual scores from today will be erased starting tomorrow. And then it's anybody's game.
Just like the problems themselves. It's such an ephemeral sport here with competition climbing. Really got to enjoy the moment.
And since 6 are going into, 20 are going into semis. We have a good lineup for the ladies tomorrow.
Tresco figuring it out at men's number 1. Swooping to the finish. Nice work by him. About 35 men still to come.
35?
Almost an entire competition of climbers still to come.
Oh my.
Including Joel Zur, Alexei Rupstov. Really excited to see him climb. It'll be the first time I think I've seen him climb in person.
Austin Guyman, he'll be coming up as well. He's always a solid finisher here.
Yeah, always holding it down for the over 30 crowd.
And Nicholas Milburn as well. I think he could do super well. He placed excellently.
Nick has been climbing really strong lately outside. Just recently did his first V15.
And the National Cup Series.
Yeah, he's been. See how he does. It's a little bit of a wild card out here.
Joshy Lawson near the end as well. He's going to be fun to watch. Rumor has it he claims this might be his last Nationals, but
that's what they
we'll
always
see
say.
about that. We'll see about that. And the final male competitor is going to be Shane Puccio, as in Alex's brother. I've never seen him climb.
Yeah, Shane is on the U circuit for a number of years. I don't know that he's been climbing in adult comps as much recently, so fun to see him back out here.
I think it'd be really cool to see the women on the men's problems and vice versa.
Yeah, that would be super fun.
After this, let's spend 10 more hours watching that happen.
It'll be the After Dark comp.
Yeah. Well, Megan Mascarenas did make it into semis in 11th place. Our defending champion.
Yeah, she didn't have the best qualifying round with only 3 tops, it looks like. But she made it through it, I would expect. Still some more results to come in.
Yep, just a handful though.
Yeah, we are done with new female climbers. So that is it for the women's #1. You will not have to see that be climbed ever again.
It's true. There's a lot of familiar names here in going into semis. Nina Williams, Megan Martin, Megan Mascarenas, Sierra Blair Coyle, Brooke Rabatou, Claire Burfine. A lot of people that we expected.
Getting a good look at Peter Dixon there on men's #3. Always fun to watch Peter climb. If you're watching along at home and you missed one of your favorite climbers, you can always rewind the live stream, check out any action you might have missed. Missed Daniel Woods and Carla Traversi climbing earlier today. Scroll back and check out how they did.
A lot of action taking place right now.
It would have been pretty easy to miss Ashima climbing since she was not on the wall for very long at all.
I know, did that actually happen?
That was really awesome, and it was really great to hear some of the things she said when she sat down with you and Chris. Seems like she has a really good approach for the whole weekend here.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a 15-year-old.
No. Doesn't climb like a 15-year-old.
Seems like she's pretty aware, though, like the style of the boulders can really dictate how rounds go for any climber.
Mm-hmm.
Same with what Nathaniel Coleman was saying with his injury. You know, if the problems tomorrow are not quite, you know, what makes his finger feel nice, the wheels could come off.
It's true.
You just don't really know until you come out.
It seems like a handful of the competitors are dealing with injuries or old injuries. Megan Martin said she had some finger issues happening. I think it speaks to climbers' pain tolerance and their willingness to just push through.
I think we're just stubborn.
I think so too.
And impatient. Sarah Violette there on the far right side of your screen on women's #5. On her final boulder. Ben Tresco here, powering his way to the finish of men's #2. 2 tops for him and 2 problems.
And he's a local. I'm not sure if you talked about him yet. He's from Utah, Harriman.
Yeah, Utah's been having a pretty good comp for the men so far.
Yeah.
Strong representation from the male contingent here in Salt Lake City.
There's some major representation from Texas, Colorado, and Utah today.
That is not surprising.
I guess not.
Often the case at these comps.
Yeah.
I believe that's Jordan Romig on the far right side of your screen. Can't quite see the bib number over there.
He's hiding it on his leg.
I guess that might have to be Oliver Miska. No, it is Jordan. Yeah, he's changed his look quite a bit over the years.
Oh, yeah? Grew the hair out.
He's just doing what works. Jordan, originally from the Midwest. I think he lives out on the West Coast now. He's been climbing at nationals the last few years. Thought that was him.
So that is Tanner Mack that we're looking at on men's number 1. He's only 17 years old. He's from Mount Lemmon, Arizona. I didn't know that Mount Lemmon was a city. I thought it was a climbing area. But that's where he's from. In your experience, Brian, what is the difference between the problems in qualifiers compared to semis?
Typically, semifinals is always the most difficult round. Qualifiers, the route setters only have to get down to 20, so there's a little more wiggle room as far as separating the climbers, but semifinals, they've got to take 20 down to 6 and only 4 boulders, so they tend to make them a lot more difficult so they can get that separation and really separate out who should make it to finals. And then finals tends to be maybe a slight step back in difficulty. The climbers are going to be more tired and more nervous, I would think.
And what's the time? What's our schedule tomorrow? Like, how much time do the climbers have between semis and finals to rest?
They probably have about, so semi, I think we're going on the air around 9:45. So semis will start around 10, be done around 12:30. So that'll give the climbers about 7 hours before finals starts.
That's not
so
bad.
It's a pretty good amount of time for them to rest. It is advantageous if you come out, if you actually qualify for semis earlier. You could be done climbing by 10:30 versus the top qualifiers won't be done climbing until 12:30.
Yeah, it's a big day though still, and especially since they climbed today. But a lot of these people climb several days on in their training.
And they do get more time for the problems tomorrow. I think it's 5 minutes per problem.
And they're only doing 4.
And there are fewer problems, yeah.
Instead of 5.
I think the competitors they know that it's not going to be like this tomorrow, where, like for the women, the first 2 boulders were pretty easy. They will not have anything like that tomorrow.
All of them are going to be hard.
I would think so. And not even so much harder, but definitely trickier, I would expect. More, maybe lower percentage moves, or moves that require you to commit to a specific sequence. And that if you run out of time, you run out of time.
Yeah, more dynos, I'm assuming. More dynamic moves, crowd-pleasing moves.
Yeah, it gets pretty wild during semifinals with 8 climbers on the wall. Although this qualifying round has given us a little more practice than usual, because in years past it was usually just one gender at a time during qualifiers. This year we've had both at the same time, so 10 people at once, but It's going to be pretty action-packed during semifinals with 8 climbers on the wall at a time, especially as it gets down to the top qualifiers.
Yeah.
8 of the best climbers in the comp
Right.
on the wall at the same exact time.
We're going to have to stay on top of that. Keep everybody informed of who is where.
Always a little bit of a challenge. The human brain was not meant to follow 8 climbers at one time.
Mine wasn't. That was interesting. He went up to that right hand. Oh, you guys can't.
Next up for the guys, stepping up to number 1, Alexei Rubtsov.
Here we go in men's number 1. Another one of our 4 national competitors from Russia, Alexei Rubtsov.
For those of you in the audience looking to keep up on all
Rubtsov, excuse me.
Rubtsov.
Really talented international competitor. Be his first appearance at nationals. Sort of an interesting wrinkle of this comp, even though we are here to pick the U.S. national champion and the U.S. national team. They do allow foreign nationals to compete. Typically, some of the more talented climbers in the comp, it's sort of a unique experience for them, I think, to come to American nationals and see how they stack up against the best American climbers.
Well, did you see him just slip off there?
I did, yeah. That
was a bummer for him.
Yeah, that definitely counts.
Alexei's a 28-year-old. He lives in Boulder. He's been climbing for 11 years. He was a world champion in 2009. And he has medaled 8 times on World Cups. 2 wins in World Cups. So that's really impressive.
That automatically makes him one of the most decorated competitors in the male field, because most of the U.S. men do not compete in World Cups. Sean McCall does for Canada, one of the most decorated international competitors out there. Alexei, pretty sterling record as well with that World Championship, like you said. It's an impressive achievement, since the World Championships only happen every other year, I think. It's always an insane field that you have to get through to win that.
It's only every other year? I thought it was every year.
I think usually the World Championships are every other
year.
Oh,
World Championships. Huh.
I'm sure the internet will correct me on that, though.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Correct
Alexei
us.
Recovering. Getting the thumbs up from the judge. Couple of falls there, but sorts it out. We've seen quite a few of the men fall in that problem when you wouldn't normally expect that. Everybody taking a break right now. There's Ben Tresco on his 3rd problem. All of a sudden feels quiet in here with the women not climbing anymore. We're back to how it was
the
first couple hours of the morning.
Yeah, it's a lot less hectic. I was just going to say that. No more women. And pretty soon, no more men over on the left side. We're on number... 94. 95.
It does seem like the holds are getting pretty chalked up.
They do have pretty good temps in here, though. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a really big room.
It's like windy almost.
The part of the room you can see on camera right now is like a quarter of the space that we're in. It's a massive space.
It's huge.
We could have a much bigger group of people in here, and I'm expecting it to be packed tomorrow night. They've been throwing out some numbers of crowd they're expecting.
I think they're expecting 3,000 or something, and they could fit 4 times that in here.
They could fit a lot of people in here.
Yeah. I'm glad we have these seats. Although you can't see. Brian's looking at the screen to see some problems.
There's a giant beam here. People in the chat room pointing out that the most recent World Championships were in Paris last fall. Definitely a really exciting competition to watch on the live streams. I was definitely checking that out. Just some incredible climbing taking place. Adam Ondra winning the lead climbing World Championship in incredible fashion. Our own Megan Mascarenas was there for the U.S. women bouldering. All right, do not go anywhere. We still have the last 20, 25 male competitors come here. We'll be right back. Salt Lake City, Utah for the 2017 USAC Bouldering National Championships. Qualifying round still underway here with our male competitors. Brian Reynolds and Neely Quinn here calling the action for you. And if you're just joining us recently, you've missed a pretty exciting qualifying round. The men's round has been going on for some 7 hours now, working our way through a field of 124 men. And our women's round just wrapped up. 60 women competing this afternoon, taking 20 men and 20 women to semifinals tomorrow morning. We'll be back with that at 9:45 in the morning, Mountain Time. Some of the outstanding performances we've seen earlier today. Nathaniel Coleman finishing all 5 boulders for the men, the only man to finish all 5 according to the unofficial rankings so far. Sean Rabitou, Dalton Bunker, Palmer Larson, and Sean Bailey in the top 5 right now for the men. And for the women, out in front with a superlative performance, it's Ashima Shireshi in her first adult nationals, flashing all 5 boulders. Followed closely by Maya Madera with 5 tops as well. Alex Puccio, Kyra Condi, Michaela Kirsch, and Margot Hayes behind her. You can go to usaclimbing.org for all the official and unofficial results as they come in throughout the entire weekend. It's your best resource. Figure out if your favorite climber is making on to the next round. Some other developments going on that we are tracking right now. Daniel Woods, 9-time champion for the men, is on the stone bubble right now for semifinals, unofficially in 21st place. But based on some of the 4 nationals in front of him, he would make it to semis at this time. But he really cannot have any more competitors that come out do better than his 2 tops. Daniel struggled in his round. Did the first problem and the second problem, but struggled on the technical 3rd boulder. Almost finished the 4th boulder, just barely missing the finish hold. A problem that only 2 other competitors have completed, and then struggled on the 5th problem. So not the kind of qualifying round that Daniel Woods was hoping for. But he just has to make it into semis. Then the scores reset, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. And you'll definitely want to check out usaclimbing.org for the full results, because they probably will not be official until after we go off the air sometime around 7:45 this evening, local time. It's just about 5:30 right now, so a little over 2 more hours to go. This men's round still to come for the men. Coming out pretty shortly, Joel Zur Got Austin Guyman coming up, Nick Milburn,
College Outside,
Josh Larson still to come.
store designed to fulfill the gear needs of college outing clubs and outdoor education programs across the country. College Outside. Make sure to visit their booth in the vendor village just beyond the entrance into the building.
Competitors themselves trying to keep the energy up out there. They've been in isolation since probably 9 a.m. this morning, 9:30. In the back, waiting for their turn. This is an on-site format, so the competitors are not allowed to watch the other climbers go, so they have to be in the back, sequestered, no technology, no connection to the outside world, waiting for their turn to compete at nationals here. It gets to be a long afternoon back there, just hanging out, waiting to rock climb in 8 hours.
Yeah, and at that, thinking that you're only going to get to climb a few problems and then probably not make it to semis.
That is, I mean, this is by far the biggest men's field that I remember seeing at nationals. Almost 125 climbers, and only 20 make it to semi. It's pretty unheard of.
I could
For
see
adult
you
nationals here.
trying to do the math and then giving up.
Yeah, I don't do math on the air anymore after that one time.
You're seeing Addison Kim here on men's number 1. He's 24 from Dallas, Texas. He's been climbing 7 years. And he is 5'6".
Looking at the problems you see for the men here, you see problem number 3. Been climbed quite a bit at this point. Problem number 4 has been the standout for the men this round. Only 2 tops that we can recall at this point. And they were back to back. Within the span of probably 2 minutes, the problem got sent twice, and that was it.
Yep.
Nathaniel Coleman unlocked it.
That send train was a short one.
Next up on male number 1, wearing the 97 bib, Salt Lake
Got
resident
Joel Zur coming up for men number 1. Living in Salt Lake City now after having lived in Boulder for quite a while. He's 32 years old. Repping for the over 30 crowd. 5 foot 11 and a half.
Also,
I think he's sandbagging there.
I know, sounds like it.
also the boyfriend of Alex Puccio.
5 foot 11 and a half is like rating something 5'11 plus. It's always harder than a 12 minus.
Climbing begins for the semifinal round tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. The doors will open for you to come on in at 9:45. Make sure you show up here early so you get yourself a good seat for all the action. Climbing will end close to about 12:10, just after noon. If you're looking for something to do in between the semifinals and the finals, there is a citizens competition at the Front Climbing Club.
And they actually made the qualifying round bigger this year. They have 2 walls instead of 1 for the first time as part of their effort to accommodate all these qualifiers. See how things go in the years to come. If the crowd or the field keeps getting bigger and bigger, what they do at some point, you think they would have to cap the number of people that can compete. There's only so much time in the day.
That's right, Brian. And so far, anybody who wants to, who's a member of USAC Climbing, can just sign up. So, yeah, I expect there's going to be some kind of something limiting that in the future. But yeah, for now, 2 big walls, climbing all day long. Another look at Joel Zur.
Joel Zur is a V14 climber outside.
Got over 10 men so far with 4 tops or more. So on the pretty solid round for the men so far. Women, we only have 7 or 8 women with 4 tops or more. It looks like 8 right now.
I got to say, the setting appears to have been near perfect. I suppose there could have been a couple more people topping out all 5, but this is really what this qualifying round is designed to do. It's separating the field almost perfectly.
Even within those climbers with 4 tops or 3 tops, there's a lot of differences in how many attempts it took them to get the problems. Like we've seen the first problem for the men be relatively easy for some of the climbers, but they've fallen at the start or fallen trying to figure out the first couple moves. And once they sort it out, they get to the top. But we've seen a lot of variations in how many tries it takes. And tries are important, one of the most important criteria after tops.
Yeah, I would imagine that the route setting crew is pretty pleased with this.
Yeah, there have been no major situations thus far. No news is good news when it comes to the route setting.
Joel Zur got 2nd place at the 2016 Tri-State Bouldering Championships and 5th place at this year's Dynamic here in Salt Lake, which Alex Puccio, his other half, won. It looks like there's steam coming off of them. You see that?
I did not notice the steam.
It's a smoke room over there.
Next up on the wall, number 98, we have Ethan Hunt out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Ethan Hunt from Atlanta, Georgia, right there on men's problem number 1. Competitor number 98. We're looking for another 24 or so men.
Ethan Hunt is 16. He's one of the youngsters out of Georgia, Woodstock, Georgia. He's 5'9". Climbs at Stone Summit. He likes to climb at Rocktown. He's been climbing for 8 years. He did the Vulcan Cup, and he came in 14th. See how he does on this.
On the right side of the screen is Tanner Mack, given his all on what has proven to be the most difficult men's problem so far, number 4.
Just to the left of the North Face logo, you can see Alexei Rubtsov. I don't know if I'll ever pronounce his name correctly. He's on men's number 3, making his way to the final hold. That's interesting. I haven't seen anybody do it with their right foot on that hold.
Looks relaxing anyway.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was good. You're looking at Addison Kim on men's number 2.
10 seconds left in this round. Luke Murring is going to be our next competitor for the men, number 99. Luke Murring is from Atlanta, Georgia. He's 18 years old. Into computer coding.
He's been climbing for 5 years. He's a speed climber. Took 5th in Speed IFSC World Youth in Guangzhou, China, in this past year, 2016. He took 15th overall in the 3 disciplines in World Youth in China, and 3rd in speed in the SCS Youth Nationals.
Wow, Joel Zer really putting it out there on men's too. Excellent effort. Awesome camera angle.
His pants match the holds too. Nice work, Joel. That's 2 tops for Joel.
People, keep in mind, we are not done by a long shot. We still have well over an hour of climbing remaining. There's still plenty of time for you to call somebody that you know. Tell them to tune in live online at lt11.tv. Catch the free live stream from Louder Than 11. They'll be following all the action today through qualifiers, tomorrow through semis and finals, so you do not have to miss a thing. Once again, that's lt11.tv.
Back to relatively empty walls here, just because all of the women are finished competing. Got a bunch of men left. But yeah, back to how it felt this morning a little bit. Only quite a few more people in the audience here in the live arena. Not nearly what we're going to see tomorrow, but not bad for a qualifying round.
Yeah, if you're in the Salt Lake area, definitely come check it out, the Salt Palace. It's going to be a party, I think. That's one thing I love about comps. I've always loved the atmosphere. Everybody cheering, everybody on.
Yeah, there's an overwhelming feeling of support between the athletes. Certainly competition is there and there's some tension, but God, yeah, it's just almost always so supportive.
Yeah, it's kind of euphoric being in part of the audience and watching it all go down. Everybody cheering at the same time. I don't know. I don't go to any other sporting events. Maybe I should.
Do you like any other sporting events?
I don't know. I've never really been.
Sacramento, California.
For the men so far, again with the very unofficial results, as it gets updated, it's looking like the top 19 spots, all of the guys there and above have had at least 3 tops. So anyone with just 2 tops is at risk of not making it to semifinals, and that does include Daniel Woods.
Yeah, we've got Sean McCall at 18th place so far. Carlo Traversi, 14th. I'm just picking out names that a lot of people know. Tyler Landman at 10th.
And an excellent performance by both Dalton Bunker at number 3 unofficially, and Palmer Larson tied for 4th with Sean Bailey.
Matt Foltz was one of the people we were looking out for, and he definitely has done well so far at 6th place. And Sean Rabitou, number 2, Nathaniel Coleman, number 1. So he may, I mean, anything can happen, but he's in good shape to maybe defend his title.
And here, Alexei Rubtsov, this guy could be the 3rd person to top out this problem. Let's see.
Nice. Here he is on men's number 4, hoping to top out. And there it is.
Excellent performance by Alexei Rubtsov. Now, he will not bump the any American out of going to the semifinals because he is from Russia. He's a foreign national, so he does not count in the ranking per se, but he just did what only 2 other guys out of the 100 who've gone have been able to do, and that is top out men's 4.
And with relative ease.
Yeah.
The ladies going into semis, of course, we have Ashima, Maya Madere, Alex Puccio. All of the ladies that we were kind of looking out for, once again. Kyra Condi, Michaela Kirsch, Margot Hayes, Claire Burfield, and Brooke Rabitou.
Yeah, to me, the surprise there in the women's top ranking is Maya Madera being just number 2. I mean, that is incredible. She does perform well almost always, but to perform that well is out of character and really awesome. So really looking forward to seeing Maya again tomorrow.
Yeah, and she kind of admittedly accidentally sent women's 3. She said that she kind of slipped down off of the top of that finish hold and happened upon the good part of it. So that was lucky and skillful on her part. And that counted for a whole lot because tops count the most in the scoring system.
We will stress again and again, these are unofficial results that you yourself can find at usaclimbing.org. Just click on the results button, and they are being updated as things move along here.
A lot of ABC representatives in the finals here. I'm just looking through this list, and whether they are on the team or they're a coach on the team. Alex Puccio was a coach for a while at ABC. Margot Hayes.
As things are winding down here in the qualification round, there are plenty of times that you can make your way over to the North Face stand. I am over here right now. It seems like there is a crazy party going on inside. I see some alcoholic beverages with some snacks and games. Make sure to come on over. There's a whole bunch of you to see and do. They are going to be raffling off prizes, including 4 packs over the next day. Once again, that is the North Face, our partnership sponsor.
On that green problem over to your left, you can see Luke Mooring going for men's number 2. And yep, there's the top. And Joel, right to the left of the North Face logo, is on men's 3. We'll see how he does on that jump move at the top. Whoop, come on. A lot of the earlier guys would press it out, that left hand, and that's what got them up to that further hold.
I am over jumping out next to the awesome North Face man. I've just been told that at 6 p.m., which means in 10 minutes time, they are going to be announcing a winner for a raffle. What they are raffling off is the Iron Peak bag.
Joel's got about 1 minute 10 seconds left to size up men's problem number 3. I gotta say, this is probably the easiest of his remaining 3-8 problems, and he will most likely need to top one more in order to have a chance at semifinals. So this next minute's gonna be decisive for Joel Zur.
He's got 45 seconds left, getting on the wall now. Not much time for this thinker problem. Come on, Joel. Needs to lock it off just a little bit further.
Joel
Got
Zur,
17 seconds. Last ditch. He's gonna have to speed climb up this thing. Come on, buddy. Nah. Well, Joel's got 2 tops. Didn't succeed on the 3rd.
Next up, out of the gate, we're at number 102, Mark Buckman from Rockville, Maryland.
Hey guys, I was just backstage talking to one of the judges. They're doing some calculations. One of the interesting wrinkles with this competition is that certain competitors don't count as far as the quota for semifinals because they might be continental champion or world champion in their discipline. So they're working out some interesting details for the women's side, figuring out how many continental champions there actually are. And also Brooke Rabbit, who is the all-around world champion in her age division, so they're trying to figure out how that factors into things here. So
They don't count?
They don't count as far. They're already on the national team, so as far as the 20 to semis, 6 to finals, they don't count for that. We're taking 6 new people to the national team. That's part of this competition. So anybody that's a foreign national or somebody that's already a world champion in the discipline doesn't count as far as who advances to semis and finals. So it's very likely that we're going to have bonus climbers for both the men and the women over 20.
Sounds like maybe
in
several
semis.
of them. That's exciting.
That's
Yeah.
Alexei Rubstov. He topped number 4, Brian.
Yeah,
don't
I
know
saw
if,
that.
You
Oh.
did see that, okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, this is last one for him.
So he's one of those situations that if he makes the top 20, we'll take an additional climber to semifinals. So there's going to be some free bonus climbing tomorrow for all the viewers at home.
Here he is on men's 5.
And I was just talking to Peter Dixon backstage. He said it's really hard to get your fingers in that slot there that
Wow.
Alexei was just on there.
Nice.
Well, he didn't have a problem.
Yeah, no problem.
I believe that's a top on all of them, isn't
I
it?
think
for
so
Alexei?
too. Yeah.
Peter was also telling me he thought that this is some of the best setting that they've had in qualifiers at nationals.
I believe it, judging by, as we talked about earlier, the spread. This is just awesome.
He did say that and a lot of people have been commenting about this in the chat room, that the holds look really chalky, but he said actually the footholds are the ones that have gotten really slippery with the rubber on, especially like men's 3, really key footholds that are
Yes.
got a lot of rubber on them, and it's really hard to get off with the brushes that they have here.
Yeah, they need to take a pressure washer out here or something.
They said they should have like a NASCAR pit stop and just swap out the holds with fresh ones.
There you go.
That's not a bad idea.
Be a good challenge for our route setting crew here.
It's actually a really good idea. Ouch. Addison Kim here on number 4 just took kind of a back slapper fall. Got right back up. He looks a little bit tired. Eight seconds left. That's it for him.
Joel Zur with his 8-pack there. Eyeing up
know.
problem 4.
I think I count like 16. I think he and Alex are the most muscular couple in the world.
In the climbing world anyway, that's for sure.
Joel's sizing up men's number 4. He's got tops on 1 and 2, but not 3. Got some action happening on men's number 2.
Steven Salemi taking it down.
Seems like the taller you are on men's 4, the harder it might be to really get set up on that second hold.
Yeah, it's like one of those where it requires so much tension and scrunchiness at the start that, yeah, it seems taller is harder for that part of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell after that.
Yeah. That might be better. There he goes. You can see Joel Zur. We're looking at him. He's on the right side of your screen in the green pants. You're looking at Lucas Mewering here on men's number 3.
And we can say with increasing confidence now that for the men, you need to finish 3 boulder problems and make it into semifinals. 2 tops is going to be very dicey. So you're going to want to get to 3 for sure. But of course, as we've been saying all day here, the climbers don't know what they need to do to make it into semifinals. They just go out and put up the best score that they possibly can and see how it stacks up against the competition.
Joel Shirley tried very hard there on men's 4, did not make it past about halfway up, but excellent effort.
This is Ethan Hunt on men's number 4. We're seeing Mark Podrabinik on men's number 2 there in the green, or on the green holds.
Joseph Diaz right there on men's 3. Not a whole lot of upward progress at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of mat time right now in this round.
A lot of them looking up. That was interesting that Ashima said that one of her tactics to stay positive was to look up.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Huh.
I hadn't thought of that before.
She said that looking down makes her feel, what was the word she used?
I can't recall exactly, but it didn't sound good.
Yeah, it was like sad or negative, and so she looks up, changes that. Maybe I'll try that.
We're gonna have some pretty interesting beta over there on men's 3, trying to skip most of the holds it looked like, trying to go straight with a hand up to the heart-shaped pinky.
It's kind of funny how much chalk is on that blue corner there. Digging into some of these scores, it's some examples of how this ranked scoring system works, as we've talked about a lot throughout this round. Each individual problem is its own competition for the climbers. They'll get a rank between 1 and 123, depending on how they compare to their competitors. So if we look at Daniel Woods' scores, for example, and see why he's in the spot that he's in, his rank score on problem number 5 for the men is 86 right now. So that means he's, out of the competitors that have gone so far, he's got the 86th best result in that problem. Problem number 3, he's got the 44th rank right now. So those are the 2 problems that he really struggled on, and they're going to be the potential difference between him making semifinals and not. But likewise, we see he's got a rank score of 3 on problem number 4. That's where he got 1 move from the finish. Only competitors with a higher rank than him on that problem finish the boulder. So that's a little bit of an example. You can go to usaclimbing.org to see all these scores and sort of get a sense for how this system works. Tops is the most important criteria, and then it's followed by ranking points, and that is where you want a lower score. That means you did better ranked against your competitors across all 5 boulders on average. As it stands right now, unofficially, Daniel Woods would be in finals, or semifinals, excuse me, so we'll keep an eye on that, though, as we know still a number of competitors to go, although it seems like a lot of the stronger competitors have gone, which is just by chance, really. The running order was randomly assigned. I think we can see that it was definitely advantageous to come out earlier in the round. I think it always is, though. Less time in isolation. Climbs are a little bit fresher. But it's part of the competition process here.
It is pretty surprising how many guys, some of whom you wouldn't really consider to be in the top 20, have gotten a better score so far than Daniel Woods.
There's Joel Zur on men's number 5, almost getting purchase. Well, getting purchase, just not totally sticking that hold up there that so many people have failed to grab, including Daniel Woods.
Yeah, if Joel could make the top of this one,
nice,
there'd be a good
Joel.
chance he'd be in semifinals.
There you go.
Not too much time left here for Joel. Maybe about a minute. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2 minutes.
He's got to
Yeah,
get
he's
that.
good.
Oh, no.
Foot
You can
slip.
see. I don't think he was confident about his grip on that slot crimp there.
Yeah, there he is, brushing it off. I suppose the bigger your fingers, the worse it feels. Well, he caught it again. He's got about a minute left.
See him
Really
just-
doesn't like that
Oh
hold.
man,
It's not going to get any better, Joel.
got it.
Gonna get worse.
Nice work by Joel
Oh
Zur.
yeah.
Come
If he-
on.
Oh wow.
He did
That
it.
is awesome. Yeah,
Nice work by
that
Joel Zur.
may have put him in. I mean, we will not know, but that was awesome.
And he's got 3 tops, 1, 2, and 5.
That should put him right in the mix.
Next up for the guys out of Colorado Springs, we have Austin Guyman.
Got Kyle Struthers there on the left side of your screen eyeing up men's number 2, those big green holds.
Austin Guyman is stepping up the men. Definitely a very likely person to have in semifinals. I'm excited to watch him climb.
Yeah, Austin's made finals here a few years back when it was in his hometown of Colorado Springs. It always helps climbing in front of the home crowd. Early slip for him.
His national ranking for this series is 4th. So he's way up there. He got 3rd at Mesa Rim and 7th at Vulcan Cup.
Kyle Struthers took probably the worst fall that I've seen at Nationals last year. Remember that first boulder in qualifiers where a lot of the climbers were flying Superman style out to the side, face planting in the mat. Had to get our medics
That's right.
out there for Kyle last year, but he's back again this year.
Johnny Hork was busy that year, our medic.
He had to show he knew what he was doing.
Were there any concussions or anything? It's always surprising to me how few injuries there are.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the, I mean, you can never prevent all injuries, but it's definitely something we know the route setters take into account. They don't want anybody to get hurt. They want the show to be exciting, of course, but they don't want people risking their livelihood.
I think they learned that pretty early on. I remember at the spot in Boulder, there was that comp where that girl just broke her ankle.
Yeah, there was the one where Ethan Pringle separated his shoulder from his body.
Oh, yeah.
And that Rose Move dyno.
Yeah, he had immediate surgery after that.
Yeah, I think they did it in the back room at the spot.
That's how good Johnny Hork is.
Obviously safety, paramount concern for competitors and route setters alike. Nobody wants to get hurt when they go climbing.
6 feet tall and 28 years old. There's Austin Guyman.
He's a V13 climber outside. And it shows.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no. I
Wow.
jinxed him.
That is not a top for Austin Guyman.
Huh.
Shoot.
He must have control with both hands in the box. So
I think that was the only person, actually, to grab that hold at all and not stick it.
It just looked like he lost his focus there for a second, or was maybe expecting the hold to be a little bit better.
Or maybe it's slimy up there.
He is only 30 seconds. He's have to move quickly.
Not good news. Let's go, Austin.
Oh, and Austin is deciding to step away. Just a few seconds left. That might cost him a little bit, since that is one of the easier ones in this set to top.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
Of course, he doesn't know that, does he? So hopefully he'll just be as psyched
optimistic
as he was, yep, for the next problem. I'm not worried about him yet.
We have Matthew Grossman here up on problem 1.
Matthew is 16 years old from Sacramento, California. He looks bigger than 16.
He's 5'7", and he likes to climb at Bishop.
I'm seeing 5'11" here.
I think that's his wingspan.
Is that right?
I think so. We get 2 measurements. One is their height. One's their ape.
I'm showing that as height, but
yeah, I could be wrong.
We'll see. In any case, let's see how he climbs.
He was the 2015 Male Youth B National Champion, so he's done well in comps. He's no stranger to them. Seeing Lex Sanchez on men's number 2. That's the green one.
Over on men's number 1, working his way around the corner, wearing the 107 bib, we have Matt Grossman.
And Trevor Rusin on men's number 3 in the orange and white shirt.
Lex Sanchez.
Oh, just holding it.
Nicely done. He is squeezing really hard right now. Ooh,
Oh,
rebate.
Come on.
Really
Oh,
nice
all right.
run.
Put on.
Nice technique there.
Great effort.
Wow, Alexei Rubtsov is in first place.
Yeah, look at that. You can follow along with these scores at usaclimbing.org. You click the large red button that says live scores. Remember, these are unofficial.
He was the only one to top men's 4.
I think Alexei is out in front of Nathaniel on the strength of flashing men's number 4. Took Nathaniel multiple attempts to finish men's number 4.
Sorry, I was wrong. He was definitely not the only one to do men's 4. Nathaniel Coleman did as well.
Yeah, Nathaniel and Alexei are the only guys to have climbed all 5. All 5 tops.
Trying to be fed some fake news from the back of the broadcast area here.
I think they're calling them alternative facts back there.
And I fell for them.
Kyle Struthers trying to figure that sequence out. So not too surprising, as Neely was saying earlier, Alexei has an incredible international competition record, former world champion. Knew coming in that he was going to be a threat to win this comp.
Hoping to see Austin Guyman top number 2 here. He got as close as you can possibly get on number 1. I think he'll need this top in order to make it to semifinals.
A nice recovery from Austin Guyman. Sure, he's going to be thinking about problem number 1 after this round's over, because you know, like, competitors know how important tops are, and when you have the top in your hand like that,
yeah,
it's just so penalizing. It's hard to make up for that later in the round when you know the problems are likely to get harder.
usaclimbing.org. Go to the homepage, click on the button that says live results, and you can see who is currently moving into the semifinal round. That goes down tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. All of the 4 nationals have already competed, and 3 are moving on to the semis. So the magic number to watch right now is 23. The top 23 competitors, as of now for the guys, are moving on to semifinals.
I wonder how often Americans go to other countries and win national events.
I think it's somewhat common for them to go to Canadian nationals, but I don't know how it works in Europe, if that's a common thing or not. Obviously, distance is a problem.
Right, because American athletes don't have the funds maybe that Europeans do to make it all the way over there.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you have a lot of European climbers come to Boulder for the winter, or Las Vegas or something, and then do nationals just because they happen to be out here climbing outside.
Yeah, that's true. We're just too desirable of a place. So we've got Nathaniel Coleman in second place, Sean Rabitou in third place.
Matt Price right there on problem number 1.
Matt Price is a 20-year-old from Durango. He's been climbing for 7 years.
All right, so with us in the booth now, we have Alex Puccio, now of Salt Lake City, formerly of Boulder, Colorado. Awesome to watch you climb, Alex. You topped 4 of the 5 problems in very good style. How did it go for you? How did you feel?
Yeah, it went pretty well. I had a little bit of a technical that me and a bunch of people feel like I should have won, but I didn't. I've had technicals about the last couple of years. I've never won one. Whatever, it happens. Yeah, so I flashed 4 of them. The third one that I didn't do, I asked the judge if the arete was on when I was on it. I pointed to it. The whole crowd even saw it. It was like,
We saw it.
Yeah, I was like, is this on? Her answer was, no, there is black tape.
Oh.
And then she says, but there is a blue wall. She's like, but the blue wall's on. In that position, you can't see around the arete. But my question, when I pointed, was, is this arete on? No, there is black tape. So that's why I avoided it.
Sure.
And then fell. And after I fell, I realized, oh, there's another arete. I don't know if she didn't realize that that was considered an arete as well, because the second arete was off.
Well, yeah, we'll look forward to hearing kind of what the judges decide.
Oh, they already decided.
Okay, they already decided. Okay.
I had this huge debacle. I was in a secondary isolation zone. Pete Torchicolo told me that he went and back and talked to the judges, and the judges changed their wording and said, we didn't say no. We said that there is a blue wall, and the arete after the blue wall is off.
Well, in any case, you're still sitting in an excellent position.
Hopefully it doesn't come back tomorrow to countbacks of anyone that's above me. I knew when I was making the appeal that I knew I was going to be in even before I saw the results. I knew how I climbed well enough, but it's one of those things. It's like the principle of it.
Of course.
And, I mean,
you want to feel like
fair.
It was fair, yeah.
And I
Fair enough.
don't judge. Everyone makes mistakes, and that's completely fine. I just feel like it's nice when someone owns up to the mistake, because we're all human. But it happened. I just have to move forward from that. I definitely was a little blood boiling at first, if I'm completely honest, in which usually times I am. But I watched my boyfriend climb and having fun watching everyone else climb.
Yeah.
Well, and you got, I think you flashed both 4 and 5 too, didn't you?
You did.
Yes, I did.
Which is super impressive, because those proved to be pretty hard problems for a lot of the women. And maybe it was the blood boiling that you're talking about that helped propel that. But in any case, it was awesome to watch you. How did you feel on those problems?
I mean, they're quite pinchy, and if anyone knows my style, I feel like the third one would be least my style, and the fourth, and the first one I felt the most nervous on. But the fourth and fifth, I looked at the pinches and I was like, okay, this is a lot nicer right now.
That's what we were saying. We were like, well,
Pinching.
this is Pooch's style.
And then the last one, it was like lots of heel hooks, which I like as well. So, yeah, actually the fourth one I would have to say was physically the hardest. That they're at the top, some of the holds were a little worse than I was expecting. But yeah, they're fun, and there's a lot going on today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How's your body holding up?
Pretty good. I'm still getting over this virus, which it's been 20-something days. I ended up taking a course of antibiotics, and I know, I posted on my Instagram, and everyone's like, you shouldn't take antibiotics for a virus, but the doctor told me after 10 days, if it doesn't get better, take the antibiotics, because it might actually be a bacterial infection, which I think is just a virus. But I'm getting better from that. I think the hard part is breathing when I'm on the wall.
Yeah.
But
how do you feel about finishing as well as you did, and then heading into semifinals tomorrow, being the 9-time defending champion? What's your mindset going into tomorrow?
Hopefully there's not going to be a need for technicals. That would be nice. No, but in all honesty, I'm psyched, and I mean, I think I'm like one of the older competitors now, which is kind of cool. I've been saying, it feels like it just happened overnight. I don't know where all the time has passed, but I feel really strong. I feel excited. I feel like I'm getting stronger as I'm getting older, which is really cool. Coming back from injuries is an inspiration even to myself to be like, okay, yeah, I can do this. And it's another challenge. And people ask me how my neck is. I'm like, I forget that I had that injury. I don't feel anything. from it, which is awesome.
Does it make you nervous mentally at all when you're jumping down?
No, actually, my knee I still feel I'll always feel my knee, and I think about my knee more than I do my neck. And I think about falling weird on dynos and for the sake of my other knee, and just like I don't know, injuries just suck. But I think once you've had one big injury, you kind of know that you can get over them. I think the first one is always the worst, and then after that, you just hope you don't get another one, but you know you can handle it if you do get injured. So but yeah, I'm just psyched for tomorrow and whatever tomorrow brings. Hopefully, awesome boulders, fun time. Yeah.
Is there anything you're worried about in particular, considering tomorrow and some of the younger athletes coming in, and anything at all?
Not really. I just get nervous. Ever since I started competing, I get nervous if it's a big comp, little comp, all the same. Like, I don't worry about other people. I've never wished that someone wasn't there for me to win. Like, that would be ridiculous. I want the best of the best to be there and to climb my best that day, and that's why I won. Not because so-and-so messed up or so-and-so wasn't there. It just makes me get stronger seeing the level of athletes and female get stronger. It makes me push myself, and that's ultimately like an amazing thing. Because if they weren't there, then I would just be stuck. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to progress then. So everyone else getting stronger is making me stay with that wave and get stronger as well.
So how have you been preparing for this comp in particular?
It's funny, like I haven't really been training that, like, this is the first time when this year I've decided kind of like carelessly just climb for fun. Like just go to the gym and climb more and maybe listen to my body. Like if I'm tired, don't push it. But I don't do like a structured training. Like the only things I do regularly is running like 5 days a week, and that's just because I like to stay fit all around, and I like it. I don't know, I like that weird stuff. I like to sweat, and I don't really get that climbing, and doing my core workouts. But other than that, I don't have a strict thing of like I have to climb this many boulders. I do 4x4s a day. Like I haven't done that in over a year. So it's just going out climbing. And I think for me, I've decided this year I want to just climb outside and do competitions when they're there and just have fun. Because for me, it's never been not being strong enough. It's more of a mental block and me messing up in finals because I put all my eggs in one basket.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's only happened once or twice ever, though, right?
I don't know. In the World Cups, it's happened a lot. Here, I think if you start winning a lot of comps in a certain type of comp, then you have that mentality and that knowledge that you know you can, and it's like a snowball effect. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask is how's your confidence level having won 9 out of 9 comps?
I mean, I haven't honestly competed against Ashima in any of them, but I competed against, I feel like, most of all the other athletes. But I know anyone can have a bad day. I mean, I have had plenty of bad days, and just because you say I beat someone at one of the other comps doesn't mean that they can't beat me here, and doesn't mean they're not strong enough to be the day. Like that day is just their day. So it comes down to the perfect boulders for you, how you feel that day, how you can manage the stress level, it just all of it.
Yeah.
You gonna get some good sleep tonight?
I hope so. I banged my knee really hard in ISO. There's like this wall of all these volumes, and I have this horrible knot, and it hurts so bad. I mean, it's superficial, so it's one of those things that just hurts. It doesn't actually, it's not injury. But I have to like ice and stretch and take ibuprofen. I'm like, why? Like, actually, it's a funny, like my friend Grace McKeenan, she was doing this run and jump. I was like, oh, that looks cool. It's like, it looks like you could potentially hit this volume. And she was like, that's what I thought, but my friend that made it up was like, no, you won't hit it. And I was like, watch, I'll hit it. And then I go and do it and just like bang my knee so hard. I'm like, all right, that's enough. I'm done.
Yeah, no more of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, thanks for joining us. We're really looking forward to seeing you in semis tomorrow and almost certainly in finals tomorrow night. So
cross my fingers.
Yeah, it's great to have you here in the booth, and I think we'll probably be talking to you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks so much.
In case you did not know, this is just the beginning of all the action. This is the qualifiers tomorrow morning. We will have the semifinals where the top 20.
Back to the action here on the screen. That's Austin Guyman, hoping to top number 3 with a minute and a half left. If you recall, he was so close on number 1. He did get number 2, I think he's going to need this one in order to make it to semifinals tomorrow morning, so, or at least to have a chance.
You can see Austin Guyman there to the left of the middle.
Dustin Skinner, please report to the scoring table. Dustin Skinner, please report to the scoring table. Next guy up on the mat from South Lake Tahoe, we have Dustin Sabo.
Matthew Grossman right there, stepping up for number 3. On the left of the screen there, we got Nicholas Milburn. He is definitely one of the competitors to watch out for. Very high chance of moving on tomorrow. He's recently placed really well in National Cup Series events. I'd be surprised if he did not progress to semis tomorrow.
You got second at Yankin Yard. You got 6th at Mesa Rim.
There it is for Nicholas Milburn of Boulder, Colorado, 21 years old.
People, make sure that all of the photos and videos that you are sending out into the world, that you throw on the hashtag USAC Bouldering. Once again, that's hashtag USAC Bouldering. Let the world know what's happening here in Salt Lake City. Also, I've been told that broadcasters in the booth are paying attention to Twitter. So throw on the hashtag with any questions or comments you may have about what you're seeing here today. Once again, that's hashtag USAC Bouldering.
Matthew Grossman there, left of the North Face logo on the screen. Still trying number 3 there. He was actually the male Youth B national champion a couple years ago. just 16 years old.
Looking at Lex Sanchez on men's number 4. And that's time. Switching that out for Austin Guyman on men's number 4. We're on competitor 112 of 123. Max Hammer just joined us on men's number 1 in the pink shorts. Max Hammer is 17 from Ann Arbor, Michigan. 5'8". He's been climbing for 7 years. He was the U.S. Youth National Speed Champion in 2012, 2014, and 2015, so this kid is fast. Yeah, he's done a lot of speed comps and done very well in them. He's watching Charlie Andrews there.
We're starting to see some late threats for semifinals here.
You think?